All right, so today I'm gonna be reacting to luxury brand situation is pathetic. And I did see a little bit about this. It's basically just people in China talking about how these luxury brands basically come from China. Because a lot of these brands would say, from London, from Italy, from certain places that is not from there. And that's basically what makes something so expensive, right? This designer stuff is all BS because Louis Vuitton is spending like $30 to make a purse and they're selling it for like 1,000. They're making a Balenciaga t-shirt for like $20 and they're selling it for 1,000. That is insane. In my opinion, that's just crazy how people are honestly spending this much money for a fucking t-shirt. Crazy to me. But yeah, with that said, let's just get straight to it.
So over the past week, luxury brand reputation is tanking all across social media as Chinese factories and suppliers are finally rising against their billionaire employers. Of all the silliness that has occurred from this tariff situation, this one has to be the funniest and the most justified. Despite being a car channel, I promise you this topic is related. Oh, trust me, I'll get to that. But I cannot believe that this luxury goods sham went on as long as it did. People really thought that their $5,000 bags and $400 shoes weren't just made for pennies on
It's
the dime
crazy.
by some 7-year-old in a sweatshop.
Is made by a 7-year-old in a dookie ass store. This is why you're paying $1,000 for. And this is the problem with people. You guys are paying for the brand. You are just paying $1,000 just because it says Gucci. That same exact T-shirt, if it comes from another brand, you wouldn't wear it. This is how dumb people are. They will spend $1,000 on a T-shirt when they absolutely cannot even afford it. You can buy the same T-shirt for way cheap. But your stubborn ass thinks that buying a Gucci T-shirt for $1,000 is the best thing in the world. People think like that. It's just so dumb, bro.
And $400 shoes weren't just made for pennies on the dime by some 7-year-old in a sweatshop. We've known this for decades, or so I thought.
Quote unquote made in Italy luxury handbag might have more ties to Chinese factories than to Tuscany.
More than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China.
In China.
Lululemon sells this jacket for nearly $100, but here it only costs you $6 to $5 with similar fabric and quality.
It's all the same.
A Chinese factory can't make. Brooks Brothers, a premium shirt
But this is
brand
the
from
thing. That is called business. Let's think of it from a business standpoint. If you are a business owner and you design a brand and you make a t-shirt that costs $1,000 and people are willing to pay for that, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you make a brand like that and have people pay $1,000 for your product? And obviously they're gonna get it for cheap. That's that entire world revolves around buying something for cheap and selling it for high. That's the same way you got your cell phone. That's the same way you got your TV. That's the same way you got everything you got. Somebody sold it. So they bought it from somebody who made it. Now that they bought it, they need to sell it to you, the consumer. So obviously, they need to sell it to you for a high profit margin.
States actually produce most of their products are in China. One of their largest suppliers is actually based in Guangdong in China.
And to all the car guys watching her like, huh, surely we wouldn't fall for the same thing. Cars are way harder to produce. There's no way luxury car industry is also a scam like other luxury brands are. I got news for y'all. It already happened to cars. Like, remember all these cars from your favorite childhood video game? Yeah, these are Chinese now. Whether it was the American modern muscle that was Celine and even their supercar, or the chubby-cheeked Gumpert Apollo, or even the British Lotus, all these brands are now owned by China in some sort of way. Heck, even when it comes to normal cars, even Volvo was bought out by China recently. And I hate to say it, but this makes sense because everything is made in China now. It's the manufacturing capital of the world. Like, on paper, bringing back American industry sounds great and all, but we're not gonna do that in a 4-year presidential term, much less 10 years. Like, I love America, right? Despite being Asian, I'm probably more American than most Americans. I grew up in the Midwest, surrounded by nothing but countryside and cornfields. I've had a Mustang, a Corvette Z06, a couple of Harley Davidsons, and a 1911 chambered in the only caliber God intended it to be chambered in. 45 HCP. If Charlie can have a boomstick, so can I, because Georgia's only one state north of Florida. Things are still wild out here. But even all the American stuff I just listed above have several parts still made in China, despite being American brands, except for the 1911. That thing is made all in Arizona. God bless America. What the is a kilometer? The point is, are we the hypocrites for buying goods from China, or are all the American politicians and companies the real hypocrites for talking negatively towards Chinese goods and Chinese production, only to rely heavily on Chinese goods and Chinese production? Like, maybe don't get all your parts from China and move industry back to America first before starting this tariff war and making all of us average Americans broke. Like, y'all, I just beat cancer last year. I'm still getting over tons of medical debt, and just when I started to think that maybe I can save by year's end, this is the 2025 economy we're thrust into. I'm starting to think that I avoided a canonical event. It's my fault, y'all. My bad. I'll go back into the coffin real quick. Just kidding. We all know it was actually Harambe from 2016 that was the real anchor. Things haven't been the same since. Regardless, though, we are now thrown into this trade war of a situation that is 2025. But while we're here, we may as well continue to laugh at the silly illusion of luxury.
The silly illusion of luxury.
So how did we
This
get
is so
fooled by
stupid.
this industry for so long?
It's
Well,
an
there's this
illusion.
amazing video from Design Theory where he explores how luxury is all about perception and storytelling. Forget the sweatshops, the factories, or the actual country of origin. If you just jingle the keys long enough in front of most buyers' faces, they will get too distracted to care about those details. Instead, they want mystique, rarity, and feeling part of an exclusive club. It's why most luxury brands have wait lists, lines, and false scarcity by controlling the amount of goods that are displayed at any moment. The harder it is to buy something, the more people will want it. What makes this kind of sad is I feel like this is a very post-social media era. Like, this development is very recent. Like, pre-social media, heck, even go further back, like pre-internet era, Rolex was once a normal watchmaker. Most luxury car brands were either still making reliable, normally priced cars, or just straight up didn't even exist yet. Same thing with most luxury fashion. A lot of them didn't even exist a few decades ago. It's shocking how few people even know that a lot of these brands popped up really just 10, 20 years ago. Like, the reason boomers are so conditioned to hate when young buyers buy something luxury, it's because the very concept of luxury is still alien to their generation. Half a century ago, it was commonplace to have sellers work to sell the product to the consumer, not have
No,
buyers prove that they are worth.
that is true what he said. That he said something about boomers cannot understand that luxury that like Gen Z has. And yeah, it's the internet definitely played a humongous part. When you see people on the internet have certain brands, it's gonna make you want it because you are being exposed to it and you're being influenced. So you would want to do the same exact thing. But the people back then that didn't have the internet, like your most likely your parent, that idea of them having designer brands or trying to show off by this designer stuff, they do not care about that. That's the last thing they care about. What the hell they're wearing. My parents have worn some crazy ass outfits, but they don't give a fuck. We do. We are the ones that want to spend $1,000 for a t-shirt just because of an illusion. But that's so dumb because you are staying in this poverty state. You're staying poor for over consuming just for an illusion, just so other people could see you have Gucci on your t-shirt. That's why you're making yourself poor, because that's what is happening at the end of the day. You could be using that money to make you rich or to make you or to help you in some sort of way, but no, you decide to invest your money in an illusion that nobody cares about. The other people across from you, they care about their illusion while you care about your illusion, but you guys do not give a fuck about each other. Is that's all it is.
Work to sell the product to the consumer, not have buyers prove that they are worthy of buying the product from the seller. The modern buyer basically has lost any sense of self-respect to actually realize when they're getting ripped off, to the point that they actually will line up to get ripped off. The modern clout buyer is essentially the biggest corporate cuckold to ever exist. Like, what kind of psyop is this? And speaking of jingling keys, since I primarily have a car enthusiast audience, before I dig deeper into the luxury fashion industry, let's briefly revisit the luxury automaker industry. Surprise, most luxury car brands are also cutting corners too. Like the Italian exotic brand Maserati has spent the greater part of 2 decades mostly just rebadging Chryslers and then overcharging them tenfold. Like, the whole rebadging a cheaper good into a luxury good isn't something that just happens with textiles or jewelry, it happens with whole ass cars too. So for the non-car people who are watching this video, you might be surprised to learn that. But yeah, it's like wine tasting. No one actually knows what they're doing, but everyone thinks that the higher the number, the better it must be. It was only until good old Daddy Doug and a few other car viewers tanked Maserati's reputation with how ruthless their reviews on them were, and this got millions of people more aware of the fact that they were just Chrysler interiors, total lack of technology, and combined with unimpressive build quality. I will never stop dunking on Maserati because it's just too funny. Did you know that despite all the insane car prices from the pandemic, which if you somehow don't know about that, go check out my previous videos, I highly recommend it, Maserati was actually the only brand to not go up in value during the pandemic car surge. In fact, it actually went the opposite direction. Imagine being so undesirable that your car is dropping in value
insane.
when every other car is going up in value. Even Subaru still went up 17%. Real rich people hide their wealth and usually wear unbranded stuff. And this brings us back to the meat of this video, the tragedy and hypocrisy behind luxury good purchases. In an effort to look rich, people actually end up becoming poor.
Yep. What did I just say? You want to give the illusion that you are rich, but in reality you're making yourself more poor. And that's just fucking stupid. It's just so dumb.
The fake rich phenomenon. This has been a thing going on for a couple of years now, especially in the post-pandemic era with all the stimmy checks, combined with the fanboy fanaticism I just told you earlier. This brand fanaticism, by the way, only benefits multi-billionaire corporations at the cost of making the already poor even poorer because they want to pretend
Are
that
you guys
they're rich.
listening? Are you listening to this? They are making the people that are already poor more poor, and you are just buying these freaking designer stuff. You shouldn't. I'm a play the video back so you could listen.
Stimmy checks, combined with the fanboy fanaticism I just told you earlier. This brand fanaticism, by the way, only benefits multi-billionaire corporations at the cost of making the already poor even poorer.
It only benefits the business, not you.
Because they want to pretend that they're rich. I used to be inundated with people buying new bags, shoes, watches, jewelry, and whatnot all over my Instagram timeline, which is why I just stopped using that platform because it just felt so flimsy and fake. Then I came across videos on YouTube where I saw a lot of these people actually expose those Instagrammers and influencers that basically said a lot of them are just buying then returning those products between each of their posts, and that just made way more sense to me. The reality is most people can't afford to keep them, but they want to pretend that they have all of those items, that they're always buying something new each week. They want to flex the best possible life to their followers. In actuality, they are living in shambles. But it gets even sillier. Like, listen to this. There are fake private plane rental services, and it's not even a functioning plane that's just parked in a hangar either. Sometimes it's literally just a set inside of a studio, but it's decorated to look like a private plane on the inside. We are so cooked as a
That I did not know about. But look what you said. We are so cooked as a society.
but it's decorated to look like a private plane on the inside. We are so cooked as a society if people are this desperate to get admiration from strangers
It's so
online.
dumb.
And after this whole trade war situation, a lot more people are finally starting to learn that most luxury goods are literally from the same exact factories as non-luxury branded items. A lot of sneakerheads are now in shambles as they learned this past week that the rep shoes are literally just the actual real shoe made in the
That's another thing. These fucking reps, people would feel like embarrassed or feel some weird way about wearing reps because it's not real. It didn't come from Gucci. But it says the same exact thing and looks the same exact way. That just shows how these businesses were able to influence you so fucking much. That just shows how much power they have over your brain, to the point where you cannot even buy the same exact thing at a way cheaper price, because that is what reps are. They are both made in the Chinese factory. Just one of them, you change the name and you put it out for $1,000, versus the rep is a way cheaper version, looks the same exact way, and mainly uses the same quality. It's fucking stupid. Stop it. Wearing reps is not a bad thing. Stop giving a fuck and stop dropping $1,000 for a t-shirt. Just stop. And the Chinese themselves in China are this is the video that we are watching. These factories are telling you that this is where this shit comes from. That Balenciaga shirt, you're buying it for 1,000. Well, guess what? They are the ones making it for like $20 that you could buy them for $20. So you are buying the same exact shit, but you still want to buy it from the Gucci store? That just shows how dumb you are and how much influence they just have over you. They won. They literally won at a insane. They literally won. These businesses won because they have millions of people basically brainwashed that the only way to buy luxury is from them. Even a replicated item is still not luxury. They fucking won.
exact same factory of the exact same material. It was just made after business hours and therefore has no serial number on it. So even though it can't be confirmed or traced as a real item, it basically is the exact same quality as it. And the reason this happens is because these workers are underpaid so much that they'll actually make a few extra shoes on the side without their boss knowing, which is why they don't report it and why they don't give it a serial number, because they want to sell it on the black market to actually give more cash to their family that they desperately need, by the way, because like I said, they are literally being paid in pennies. Like, these profit margins a lot of these fashion brands have are completely out of control. They are ruthless. They want to give you as
It's actually insane. You are spending $1,000 for a Louis Vuitton bag, but these businesses are giving $1 to get that shit fucking made. The minimum, the wage that they are giving the factories, people in the factories, is a fucking $1 a day. So imagine you invest $1 to get this bag made and you sell it in the United States for $1,000. That means they just made $999 in profit. Yo, they are fucking rich.
garbage or product as possible without you even noticing it's garbage, and then they pay their workers literal scraps and dirt, all while raking in billions with these 10x, 15x, even 100x profit margins. Like, this is cartoon villainy that actually happens, unfortunately. Like, f it, buy a replica at this point.
buy a replica. Like what?
Whoopsies.
Seriously, do it. At least then you're giving money directly to the factory workers who already made the exact same luxury branded item that you wanted to buy anyways. What's even funnier is the Chinese factories are literally offering to fly people out to directly buy from them instead of the luxury stores who will just mark it up for 20 times the price anyways.
They're offering a 13% cash back on any purchases from American citizens.
Who cares if it's missing the logo or has a knockoff variant of it, or even if it does have a logo and looks exactly the same but it's missing a serial number so we can't confirm it. It's the same thing. We now know it's the exact same quality and it comes from the exact same location. The average person can't tell a replica apart from the real thing anyway. One of the funniest things I've learned as a car enthusiast is that non-car people can't tell the difference between a 3D printed replica Lamborghini and a real Lamborghini. Seriously, rep culture is so out of control these days. It's getting so good that even with whole ass cars, it's got people fooled. Do you really think that something as small as a rep Rolex or a handbag is going to get the scrutiny of the general public when the general public can't even tell a fake Lambo from a real Lambo? And yes, I know a watch enthusiast is going to be like, I can tell which Rolex is real. Cool.
Don't care. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
Another reason I love reps is because they tank the value of the original items, since if they get too good, no one can tell them apart anymore, and that makes the original less sought after and therefore not something that's collected by rich snobs or wannabe fake rich flexers that you see on social media. This even happens with cars. Like, there used to be a point where the original Shelby Cobras were selling for $8 million and they were only being bought by rich snobby people who would just store in their basement forever and never actually drive them. So out of spite, many companies like Superformance and Factory 5 started producing replica Cobras but had better chassis suspension than the original, and since it was technically an upgrade and they're only being sold for a mere 40 grand compared to, you know, 8 million, these replicas sold like hotcakes. Ford even reached a settlement with some of these replica makers regarding the trademark, and Carroll Shelby himself, before passing on, would sign several of these cars all across America at several car shows. Over 2 decades later, most Cobras you see on the road are actually replicas, but they're basically indistinguishable from the original, and that makes me happy, since that means Shelby's final wish of having these cars actually being driven on the road and enjoyed by enthusiasts and not stored away in some rich guy's basement would come true. Nowadays, an authentic Shelby Cobra will never fetch $8 million again, or even $1 million. Who cares? The replica is not only identical in appearance, but technologically superior and even has the endorsement of the original creator. There comes a point where the designers of these items may actually be happier to see people enjoying it instead of watching it be auctioned to snobs who won't even appreciate it. I get that people want nice things. I can't single-handedly stop the ever-churning machine that is consumerism. But for the love of God, if you want to buy something, please don't do it to impress strangers online. If you really don't care for brand naming, then I can promise you that there are higher quality goods for cheaper prices from overlooked and established heritage brands any day of the week compared to these trendy fast fashion brands. The beauty of it is, heritage brands are truly timeless, because think of how fast fashion changes. Like, a lot of millennial fashion stores are going bankrupt, like Volcom, Billabong, and Forever 21, who recently filed for bankruptcy in March 2025.
Damn.
Like, how far is Gucci or Supreme from just disappearing someday? Like, will we even remember them 50 years or even 20 years from now? The reality is, when Gen Alpha and Gen Beta get purchasing power 2 decades from now, they will get to decide what is cool and what isn't. All of our Gen Z obsessions with Supreme, Chanel, Gucci, Lululemon, and whatnot won't matter 20 years down the line, which is why I personally never have bought into fast fashion and the fake aura of luxury it always had. The cheaply made, low-quality fast fashion luxury will rot and fade away, but the high-quality, well-made heritage will always stay. The very passing of time will never lie, because true authenticity endures. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like and share with your friends.
And that is the moral of the story. You have been brainwashed to buy these luxury brands and pay $300, $400, $1,000 for products when it's literally made for like $10, $20. And they are paying these people $1 a day, and they're making a shit ton of money out of you, and you are getting poor as fuck because you do not know how to spend this money. You are buying these products for the illusion to make yourself richer, but it's just not helping you in no type of way, shape, or form. And buying these replicated items is the same exact thing, the same exact quality. It looks exactly the fucking same. Nobody's gonna fucking tell. Nobody cares whether you are wearing replicated items or not. The only reason why you would not buy replicated items is because you have been fucking brainwashed, and these businesses have like caught you, and that's how good they got you, to the point where you cannot even buy the same exact thing just from a different place. It's stupid. It's so dumb. So I hope you guys learned something out of this freaking video. So leave some comments down below. What are your thoughts of these brands? What are your thoughts of this situation in China and them exposing these luxury brands? Whatever you got to whatever you if there's anything you have to say, comment down below. And with much love, thank you for watching.